guy. Are you really live? Really? How does that work? Go live for 1 hour? Nah, we'll do 2. 2 hours. All right. Oh, all right. If you're joining us, thank you. We will be starting in just a moment. Appreciate you. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
All right. Should we do this, Sean?
Let's do it.
Righty. Good evening. I am Judd, affirmed by he, him pronouns, and I am here with my friend Sean. We are on the actual play channel, and profits generated from this channel are donated to the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. And that's the intro.
Yeah.
We just got done playing Liminal Horror Adventure, The Bureau. And I don't know. I had the idea that we should keep going. And so
that's how our games go,
not?
Jed, right? We play a game that's going to be a throwaway game. And 27 sessions later, we've told three epic campaign arcs. Yeah.
That's that scans.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just decided, let's give it another shot. So we'll see. We are kind of I mean, all of it is off book, but now it feels like we're like past. But I like what I like about the adventure, other than the layout and the kind of open dungeon crawl nature of it, is that it leaves you with like a fun situation. I think the modern dungeon crawl is interesting, but I think even more interesting is, okay, now what?
Right.
Like now there's this building that we've sealed off the 10th floor with the former director, who is clearly in some sort of symbiotic, maybe parasitic relationship with an other dimensional creature. And now what? Now what happens? So yeah, that interests me. And I think it interests Sean too. And I have a note. I have a whiteboard that I keep near my computer. A couple of whiteboards I keep near my computer, and I haven't written reminders to myself yet with them. Usually I use them to record, but this time I decided one will be recording and one will be like a reminder to myself. And so I wrote, "Be positive. This is a blessing," and then I just wrote "gratitude" in all caps. So I feel like sometimes with these intros, I like sometimes I'll skew negative, and I'm like, I wouldn't watch that guy. So anyway, it's wonderful to be here, and I'm excited to see where Judith goes. And I've got like an idea. I kind of sent Sean a recording of like where I thought the first 30 seconds of the game would be. And so, Sean, should we just jump in and do this?
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Fire away. I only want to say before we start, I love your sweater. When I first got on, I thought it was a robe, and I was like, "Wow, you're." And then I was like, "No, that's a sweater."
Yeah.
Very cool, big flared collar. I'm
a librarian, so like the cardigan game, like it's cliche, but I gotta rock it, and so I'm just continuing my journey to being everyone's adopted Jewish mother, essentially. Like that's where I'm headed, and I'm very comfortable with that journey. It's good. It's good. I love that.
Happy for you in that place. And with that said, yes, please jump in.
So Judith, I actually wrote up, like I wrote your calendar for like the day. And the first 3 hours I slotted down for phone calls. And I imagined that's because you have to call everyone who died, everyone whose family, you have to call the family of everyone who's died. And I clearly have no interest in playing that out, but I am interested in like the moment that Judith puts the phone receiver down on the last call I don't have an actual number for how many people died, but
Yeah.
it's probably like close to double digits, if not into it. And it's a situation where people probably didn't, like, they might have, depending on, you probably had to look in their files and see what cover lie they told their family, right?
Yeah.
And so you had to play into that and also give them very banal HR information of like who will be contacting them about, the resources allotted to them for the family of deceased employees of the Bureau. You definitely got an idea that some people had an idea that their spouse, their partner, their loved one, their child, their parent were involved in something weird, and some just had no idea. Or even dangerous, right? Like some people probably said, like, I'm a IRS investigator or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so the phone clicks down, and like, what do we see of Judith, right? Like, how does it show in her posture? How did she dress for her first day as the director of the Bureau?
Yeah. I think I'll back up at 10 seconds. And I think the very end of the phone call says, yes, Mrs. Clark, God bless you as well. And which she's clearly parroting back to this person and to comfort them. And then she hangs up. We see Judith has her notepad that she's always taking notes in. And there's a series of names that all have been scratched out. And the last one says Abraham Clark. And she scratches that out as she has done the last one. Judith takes off her wireframe glasses, which she wasn't wearing in the first episode, but she does use for reading, and she does in fact have a big stack of binders in front of her, all with various cover stories of people, and also with the various Bureau HR requirements as to what she can say and can't say. And so she's been having to cipher through those to figure out what she could say. She's in a charcoal suit. And I think I think she's sort of hunched over at this point. She might have been sitting up straight at the beginning of this 3-hour block, but at this point she's sort of hunched over, got her elbow leaning on the desk and sort of holding the phone up to try to support her weight. And now she just kind of crumples into her hands to look at, what's next, and breathes the sort of long sigh of relief as she's finished the last call. I'm sure she has various like notification things like emails and Slack messages and whatnot. And so she's sort of staring at various things that have like 17 unread messages, 57, things. And she's like kind of moving the cursor around her screen, but not actually clicking on anything because she's not quite up for opening them yet. When
I feel seen. I feel very seen here. Yes.
So that's the mode that Judith is in right now.
I think we see the puzzle cube that Judith used to alter gravity on like an acrylic plinth behind her, right? Mm-hmm. It is the resonant artifact that she used to get the ghoul's hand off of Amos, and just used to like navigate the elevator shaft. And is there anything else personal of hers that is like up in the office? Is it still Dr. Harrison stuff?
Yeah,
does she have any personal effects? Do we see like a picture of her and her sister at the climbing wall? Like, do we see anything?
Yeah, I love that. I think I just described that she was wearing these wireframe glasses, and last session I put on these wireframe glasses that were a resonance artifact. So let's just combine those two. Those are the same thing because why not? Although that's not pretty good.
Or does she have a normal pair of wireframe glasses, and on a plinth next to the puzzle box are the wireframe glasses.
Yeah,
right?
that makes more sense actually.
Okay.
But in terms of personal effects, I do think there is a. How long was Harrison the director? Do I know? Was it a long time? Was it a short time?
I think it was a long time. Yeah.
Okay. So there is a little bit of a dust outline on the wall where there was some sort of motivational poster that she's taken down and hasn't replaced yet.
Yeah.
And so there's this like outline from where that used to be. But on her desk, and we do see her name plaque has been put. There's the little standee. But yeah, on her desk, there's definitely her and her sister. Her sister is very fit, very like dressed in athleisure wear. They've just been doing this rock climbing. She bought all new, rock climbing gear just for it. And Judith, compared to her sister, looks frumpy is perhaps too cruel a word, but not nearly as energetic, not nearly as fit, not nearly as like rah, let's go. But she does have a smirk on her face. She was happy to be there with her sister. And cool. That's sitting on the desk, as well as a tray of kind of deflated flat brownies that she made to bring into as a morale building thing. But then she got swamped with all this stuff, and so they've just been sitting there for the last couple hours in a little Tupperware tray.
Yeah. That's great. Janet comes in, personal aide to the director, Janet Garcia, call sign The Magician, and she looks at the brownies and says, was that supposed to be like a morale builder or something?
Yeah, I got a box mix and made it this morning. And she sort of looks at it. Clearly she is not a super proficient brownie maker, but also box mixes are easy to make. I meant to put it in the lounge 4D. I meant to put it, 1D, I think. This is Sean trying to remember. I meant to put it in the lounge for everybody, but I got swept up, so.
It's all right. You don't ever want to hear someone who reports to you say, hey, the director never brings brownies in anymore. They must be mad at us. I don't know. You'll find your own style and groove. There is there are some options for lunch. What are you thinking?
Oh, yeah, I guess I should eat.
You should eat, and you should get out of the building when you eat. Harrison didn't like it when I gave him wellness tips, and I'm not sure where that got him. So I'm just going to aggressively give them until you tell me to stop.
All right. Well, why don't you and I go have lunch? You can catch me up on things, but we can get out of the building. And if there's anyone else that you feel like I really should get their perspective, feel free to invite them along. But this is a 3-person lunch max. We're not doing we'll wait for you, and then we have a crowd of 9 that we can't get a table anywhere.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I think she brings you. She says there's a really good Vietnamese place, but it is packed. So let's go somewhere a little less packed. And we'll talk about your after lunch meeting.
According to my Google Cal that Judith sent me, it is status report research and development with Dr. Gal and Dr. Meadows.
Yep.
Nice.
She brings you to a food truck that serves pretty good subs.
Great.
And and you sit on a you sit outside in the cold on a park bench or on a picnic bench, and I think I think Janet sits across from you and has her own water bottle and a pretty sizable sub, and says, this afternoon we've got Meadows and Gall. Here's the problem. Harrison was kind of cutting Meadows out of research of the shadow, and this is kind of where we ended up. So there is a school of thought that Meadows should have navigated this better, and there's a school of thought that there's nothing Meadows could have done because their superior in the hierarchy was compromised.
It sounds like the agency is suffers from a lack of accountability in its directors.
Yeah, that's fair. The other problem is that Gall, in trying to survive, has become infected with an otherworldly plant. So there's a protocol that could be invoked that says that he is now an otherworldly being who should be studied and not really a colleague anymore. That said, people have been skirting that line since the founding of the Bureau. So
I was going to say, I think one of my very first acts was to bring the archivist on a staff to help seal off the 10th floor. I'm getting the impression from the Bureau documentation, which is verbose, that the founding principles were to keep any sort of otherworldly creature arm's length. But in order to understand and study otherworldly creatures, we've had to work with them. And therefore, we all know the Candleman can write his own ticket to ride anytime he wants. It's an illusion. It's sort of a foolish illusion for us to pretend like we have him contained. I'm sure that's true of others as well.
Yes. The other problem we might have with the Candleman is the Candleman might have compromised staff, and we might need to figure out a way to measure that. Yeah,
that's tracks. So this is sort of a philosophical question that may be above your pay grade, Janet, but maybe above my pay grade too. But what the fuck are we doing here? Like, is our goal to keep otherworldly creatures out of this universe? Or to keep the ones that enter this universe contained?
Our official directive is to protect mankind from the threats of the unknown. In practice, over the years, this has meant safeguarding, controlling access to, and protecting information related to the paranatural.
Right. Because
dimensional bleeds, planar anomalies, non-Euclidean mathematical incursions, monsters, magic. This also means being proactive and conducting extensive research in an attempt to better understand these phenomena and learn to utilize them to aid in the fight against these horrors.
Sure. So, okay. Thank you. That's great. That's really helpful. And it seems like you have not only an understanding of our directives, but also understanding of the implementation of them.
That is fair, yes.
Here's my theory from one day on the job. So please correct me if I'm wrong.
Of course.
Dr. Harrison got compromised by getting too close to the things he was studying and became part of them, or Director Harrison, rather. There's essentially no safeguarding anybody from doing the same thing. Me, you, any otherwise. I don't think that we can guarantee with any ability that no one else will have the same thing happen. As you just mentioned, the Candleman has also potentially compromised our staff. So the more we look into the abyss, the more the abyss looks back at us, right? That's just a Newtonian law, give and take. We can't interact with something without being affected by it. So it doesn't seem like having hardline rules about saying somebody like Dr. Gao can't be on staff because they are infected by otherworldly creatures is actually applicable. And we have to, rather than judge somebody based on their cosmological makeup, judge people based on their actions, including myself. And then it's based on those actions. But that also means a high level of accountability and people being willing to have their actions audited so that we know what they're up to and they don't have secret projects that nobody knows about.
That all sounds fair.
Great. So I'm kind of inclined to judge people based on, hey, Misha. I'm kind of inclined to judge people based on how they pan out once they tell us what they're up to and what they've been doing. And then we have to stay pretty vigilant because, as you said, we know Harrison was compromised. Perhaps the Candleman has compromised other people. Yeah, it's Schrodinger's abyss, right? We don't know about the abyss until we look into it. But then once we do, we don't know if we're in it or not. Anyway, I'm sure my understanding is still pretty naive and that there's going to be more nuance as we go. But for now, I'm inclined to see what people do rather than what they are.
Of course. I think Schrodinger's abyss. Misha, I think, is found the phrase that has me has my eyebrows up. Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, Desmond, you got it.
Yeah.
Candleman does seem like not a bad guy so far.
He plays piano, Desmond. How bad could he be? I mean, give me a break. No one learns to play the piano and then is a bad person, right?
Pretty sure that's not true.
Pretty sure that's not true. I say that as someone with zero musical training, and so I think all musical training is pretty much sorcery. So I just am like, I think y'all are magic. Cool. Yeah, I think the sub hits the spot. It's good. The bread is fresh. The vegetables are locally sourced, and the meat is locally butchered, and it's an excellent damn sandwich. Janet pays for it with the bureau card and drives you back.
Great.
Yeah, I think you've got 20 minutes before Gall and Meadows show up.
Yeah, is the meeting to take place in my office, or do we have a conference room booked?
Yeah. Conference room
just
seems like the better way to go, right?
Yeah, that seems like a less. That seems like a less. I don't know, a more comfortable place, maybe.
Yeah. So, it's in meeting room 1. The last time you were in meeting room 1, you turned off a television and half a dozen people died.
Yeah.
So that is the context. I'm not saying you have a flashback. I'm not saying that. I'm not telling you how to feel. I'm just saying this is the room where we're having this meeting.
Yeah. I think the way that you see the impact of that is that when Judith, who arrives a few minutes early to the meeting, gets there, She goes to flick on the light switch of the conference room, and there's a palpable hesitation before she flicks it on.
Love it.
And then she just kind of takes a little breath, holds her breath for a second, and then flips the switch. And presumably does not twitch or does not flinch away from any horrors that are there, but halfway was expecting some of them.
Yeah.
She opens up the little Tupperware container, puts the tray of brownies on the table, and assembles her notes, waiting for Dr. Meadows and Dr. Gal to arrive. She has asked Janet to essentially schedule one-on-ones with her and various other department heads as well. Those don't necessarily have to get played out, but we do not play the game of directors meeting with their subordinates forever. But I imagine.
No. Yeah. I think we'll have the interesting conversations and not the necessarily. Although, you know what, the head of admin, was also infected by a shadow-like fungus and tried to hunt you and kill you. So maybe that's a one-on-one that actually is interesting. Maybe,
right. How do we know which of our one-on-ones are going to be, going to be meaningful or not? Yeah.
I think you hear Gal and Meadows coming down the hall. You hear the click of Gal's heels, of Meadows' heels, and then you hear the slither of Gal on some kind of plants. And she's saying, you hear her saying 10th floor. And he says, well, because the director sealed it. And she said, those are my offices. And he says, I don't think your offices were there anymore. I think Harrison had disposed of them, the previous director. And she's like, what happened? I was on vacation for a week. Can I just get a tan? And he says, I have trouble figuring out rhetorical questions right now. I don't think I ever really got them, but now it's much more difficult. She was like, Gal, what the fuck did you do? And then she comes in and says, hey, I'm Dr. Meadows. I am the head of extraplanar research. I used to work on the 10th floor when we had one. Welcome to the Bureau. Welcome to the Monolith.
Hi, Dr. Meadows. I'm Judith. Hi, Dr. Gal. Please make yourself comfortable. Have a brownie if you like. Yes, I overheard you as you were coming in, Dr. Meadows. We did have to seal the 10th floor. It was that or give up the entire building to the shadow. It might be recoverable at some point, but I don't know that it will resemble anything like the 10th floor that you left before vacation. So I regret to inform you that I have no current estimate on when you might be able to get back to that office, but we'll definitely find a space for you here. My understanding is that you were working on extraplanar research and that my predecessor sort of sidelined you and pushed you out of his inquiry, his own personal exploration. This is not a political question. This is me trying to figure out what's going on an extraplanar level.
No, I understand that. Yes. He pulled a Kirk and went in on a dive to another plane. And while I was on fucking vacation.
Yep. So one of the things that feels like we need to implement, maybe they already exist and I'm just not aware of them yet, is, at the very core, a buddy system. That when someone's about to interact with some unknown, potentially hazardous creature, environment, plane of existence, that there's somebody else who is a safe distance back, who can be observing and making sure nothing goes terribly wrong. And if something does go terribly wrong, fire up the alarms. Right?
That sounds reasonable. And I think Dr. Gall says, I have a symbiotic buddy, and it's very clear that he does not know he said that out loud. Like, it's just like one of they're like, oh, he does not realize that he said that. He thinks he thought that. Like, he just doesn't realize. Like, he is having trouble keeping his planes of existence straight.
Yeah.
Right.
Judith pretends like she didn't hear, even though she clearly did.
Yeah.
Dr. Gall, my understanding is you have made a transformation and an effort in a necessary step to survive. You certainly don't seem to be the only one in the Bureau who's undergone such a transformation. I think there's some protocol questions about whether or not you can continue in your role serving here now that you are no longer, strictly speaking, of this reality. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think like the flowers, like, back up in a kind of fear. And he says, I think that's fair. I would like to know what kind of test will determine the answer to that.
I don't think it's so much a single test as it is a regular set of check-ins and accountability that everyone, yourself included, is going to have to participate in. They're going to be boring and tedious and feel like they're a waste of time, but they're also going to be the way that we hopefully prevent me or you or anyone else from being the next Director Harrison.
He nods. He nods, and like the flowers and plants that are like through his flesh and beyond.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of like a softly glowing blue, seem to relax. And he says, that seems like a reasonable way to do this. Yes.
Great. I think this all fits in the same sort of schema of creating accountability for all of us. Definitely myself included. I'm probably the most vulnerable here given my lack of experience. So somebody watching over my back is going to be critical, just as the rest of us. Extraplanar research is a really important part of the Bureau. I can only fathom. The fact that we've lost our entire 10th floor has got to be a bit of a blow to your work in particular, but more broadly to the Bureau as a whole.
She says, I'm glad to hear that. I'd like to, before the week's end, what I'd like to have on your desk is some spitball ideas on how to get the 10th floor back and kind of an overview of other things we have cooking, and kind of go over with them with you. Does that sound reasonable?
Yes, but I'd like to add one more thing to that list, which is, let's not assume that getting the 10th floor back is going to be trivial or timely.
Right. So no, I'm not rushing that. I just want to start spitballing now. Like I don't think it's going to happen fast. I'm glad to hear you say that we're not rushing it, and I'm glad to hear that there's not pressure to get up there right away.
Yeah. But I do think that there probably is going to be a need to do some of the work we're doing up there in other capacities. So if you can also give me suggestions for what work that you are doing there can be done safely in other locales, maybe we can set up a temporary workspace for you until we have something more permanent. Reasonable?
Sounds good. Great. Reasonable, yes. Thank you.
Dr. Gal, is there any accommodations you need?
That's a good question. Could I have a lower roof access so I could get sunlight from time to time?
That seems reasonable.
If that could be added to my key card, that would be about it.
Does your office have windows?
It does, but I would like direct sunlight.
Sure.
We would like direct sunlight.
Sure. Just want to be just don't want you stuck in a windowless box 8 hours a day. I think roof access is fine. Hold on. Wait. Does the lower roof is below the 10th floor, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah. I would also mention that the rail yard is pretty nice and has a bit of a calm. I find it pretty find it a fairly soothing, calming place to be outside as well. But your choice.
Very well.
And yeah, she's contemplating whether or not to ask, like, if she should refer to Dr. Gal as a plurality. But it seems the conversation has been going pretty smoothly so far, and she doesn't want to call out something that's going to make Dr. Gal awkward. So this can be a future conversation.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah. We, us. Is that a?
Yeah, those are pronouns. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, those are things. Yeah, good. Yeah. I'm just making sure. I'm like, hey, that would happen. Yeah, it probably has happened. Anyway,
thankfully, you works as both singular and plural. So
yes.
So
sounds good. Yes.
Yeah, and I think. Glad to have you collectively on the team. Absolutely. And I think what was Dr. Gal studying? I know Dr. Meadows is studying extraplanar research. What was Dr. Gal's field of study, or is?
Yeah. Let me see if it's in the. He was the executive assistant director of research and development. Yeah. And technically, Meadows reported to him.
Got it. No need to change any of that. Yeah, I think, this is meant to be a tour meeting, but you and I certainly don't need to play that out. I think I'm getting updates from them as I can, like cool. Having them tell me what they do, what they need, what resources are needed, etc. Cool. Yeah, and I think I end the meeting a few minutes early so that I can, get a stretch in before have my next meeting with Amos on Monolith.
Definitely. Amos is definitely put on the thing like a walking meeting. Great. I think he gives you a tour of the building as it's been cleaned, right? And I think they've got the dimensional rift in the bathroom fixed. That's set. So the fourth floor bathroom is the plumbing is still having problems, but like there is no dimensional rift there. And then he brings you up into research, and there is a room called it's 7D. It's called fabrication.
Great.
And he's like, so that room is where the Weaver is.
Tell me anything about the Weaver.
This is definitely the Weaver from fucking Burrito Street Station. Like, I'm just fucking saying it's not subtle, and that's fine. But I'm not going to be able to like free verse Weaver poetry. But I will do my best to make this fucking creepy. It's an other dimensional. He's like trying to remember. He's like pinching his nose. Other dimensional, anthropomorphic, arachnid. I think that's what we know.
It's not in containment, which is 8th floor.
It is bound. It is bound. Yes.
Okay. Do we interact with it? I guess I could ask the agents this, but you're here.
People do. It's up to you. If you had gone through the 4th floor bathroom, it's the Weaver who would have pulled you out.
Oh, that's good. It sounds like.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
I mean, if I'd gone through the 4th floor bathroom and was going to get pulled into the abyss and lost into time and space, the Weaver would pull me back to this dimension? Or do I have another understanding of the Weaver would pull me out?
I mean, someone did go through and the Weaver did pull them out and let them go. Great.
All right. So we're not antagonistic necessarily.
Well, I mean, he kept one of their ears.
Okay.
He called it tax.
I don't like it, but of all things to lose, an ear is not the worst. Speaking of horrible, horrible things happening to people, what's the story with DJ? Is he still regrowing all of his flesh in agonizingly painful ways and then running in a loop? That seemed like it was just par for the course, but I didn't have time to get to the bottom of that mystery. But that definitely seems like a pattern I'd like to.
Folks are working on that. But yeah, folks are working on it.
All right. Well, as long as we're making some efforts, I'm going to check in on that. That seems like a really, really agonizingly painful experience he's going through on a repeated and endless basis.
Yeah, no, people are working on it. As soon as the lockdown came and yeah, we got science folks working on that.
Great. What about you? Anything you need right now? I asked for more staff for you.
Yeah. No, I saw. We've got a hiring committee to hire an assistant. I'm really excited. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna get somebody. Things are good. I feel like with an assistant, like what am I not going to be able to do? I'm pretty pumped.
Well, and for right now, you've got one less floor to worry about. But hopefully that's not true forever. Yeah, so I think I get, I try to take in as much of. I think Judith is.
Do you go in to talk to the Weaver? Like, is that something like that Judith wanted to do, or like you can feel like the otherworldly planar energy like beyond the door, like you're in the workshop 7C, and and there are a couple of guards by the door, and you can feel that they will open the door for you if you ask, but like it's up to you.
Sure. I asked one of the guards if there's any of the scientists inside working with the Weaver right now. Is anybody in with the Weaver at the moment?
No. It's kind of all hands on deck to try to get DJ back together.
Great.
Then you want me to call somebody? You want me to call somebody who can brief you before you make contact?
Yeah, if possible. If I'd like to go in there. I'd like to go in there informed.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah, you get somebody who like was infected and was a ghoul. Matter of fact, you know who you get? You get the person who was the ghoul and lost their hand. That is who you get.
Got it.
Um,
Oh, the person who was the ghoul that grabbed Amos. Awkward.
Awkward. They
Yeah.
are a. It's a. It's a young woman who studies extraplanar science and extraplanar arachnids and well, extraplanar language and contact. And she says, "Director, welcome to the Monolith. It's nice to have you aboard.
Thank you.
We're all looking forward to new leadership."
I appreciate the warm welcome, and she sort of looks at where her hand would be, and sorry that the transition was a rough one.
People had worse, and I don't really remember. Like I woke up and it was just, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, I guess that's true. So the Weaver seems like a extraplanar entity that I should be familiar with as director. I don't want to dive into some sort of telepathic paralysis.
No, as long as the
situation.
Weaver, as long as the Weaver can't touch you, you're pretty safe. He, it's playful. It is at the crux of several different realities, so it's going to know things about you that maybe you don't know, which can be unsettling. And I think the Weaver's use has not really been tapped, and I also think we need to consider how. I think we need to really think about consent and if having a creature like this bound in this building is ethical, or if there's a way to send it back.
Yeah, I've been having similar sort of sentiments about all the creatures that are here. Not of their own volition. Because it seems like what we've had to do is capture them for the protection of our reality, which I can understand. But if we can't send them back and keep them from returning, I can possibly understand a carceral solution being necessary, but feels like we might have focused a little too much on our research to realize the sort of ethical components involved. What's the Weaver's disposition in general? I mean, is it hateful of us for binding it? I'm not trying to justify it. I just want to know what I'm walking into.
I think that's a little hard to figure out.
Great. Okay, well, if it's safe-ish, I don't know that anything's really safe. I think I should have a chat. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about the 10th floor, or lack thereof.
Right. Could be. It's a white ceramic chamber with dark green carpeting, divided by a thick wall of glass in the middle. And on the other side, beyond the glass, there are inky black tendrils that lead into a void in the floor. And hanging from the ceiling by a thread is a spider the size of a fucking motorcycle that has hands and a face. Creepy. I think the hands are like Mickey Mouse hands, right? It's just like something that didn't really understand hands made hands, right?
Yeah.
It's not quite AI weird, but it's getting there.
Definitely uncanny valley.
Yeah.
Space. Yeah. I turn to the agent. Any special protocols? So can he hear me?
Yeah, it can hear you. I mean, sometimes it talks and then it spins and you're like, "Oh my god, something that big can move that fast." That is fucking terrifying. And it just moves very quickly, and like if you've ever been near a big predator, like it's like yeah. And on top of which you're having like a literal arachnid reflex, right? Because it's an alien being. And so but I think its hands are like unnerving and like maybe even not matching its words. And it says, "Are you director Judith, or are you just visiting Judith?"
How is it communicating? Is it like talking through the panel?
Yeah. It talks through like an intercom. Yeah.
Great. I am Director Judith.
Oh, do you have a Janet, or do you need a Weaver to help you with your Baru?
I have a Janet, and my Baru is fine.
And you're not the Janet who went into the bathroom, because you have both of your ears.
I'm not correct. I did not go into the bathroom. Thankfully, I kind of like look over to Amos. Thankfully, I was warned about the planar vortex.
Amos.
Are you the Weaver that is connected to the 10th floor? Is that a reality that intersects with that you are in? Is that space one of the realities that connect, whose vertices you connect to?
I have a point of view on the 10th floor, if that's what you're asking.
As long as we're asking each other personal questions about identity and existence.
Of course. We are.
Can you tell me what's up there now? If there even exists.
You are, Judith. You're wandering around those rooms. You're so scared.
It was scary.
No. Your tense is wrong.
As I experienced it, that was in the past. You're telling me that there's another me that's up there right now?
That is what I'm telling you. Very smart, Director Judith. You might make it in this place.
Well, that's unsettling. How many? For someone who only recently realized that there were multiple realities in, this is a lot to take in. The ant is not aware of the ant that has only ever been on a line does not understand a plane. And I'm rapidly trying to discover to learn a lot more than just a plane and a.
As soon as you start talking about ants, like I think it just like claps. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, one of your ants is still on the 10th floor.
Great. And Director Harrison? Or former Director Harrison? Or who knows what he is in that reality?
He's sealed up there.
And the shadow that infected this entire complex turned most of the people into ghouls or drones.
Sealed up there for now. It's looking.
Yeah, I imagine it might be. Seems like
Baru is fairly thorough. Very interesting.
It seems like.
What's the policy on inter-office dating?
It's frowned upon.
The Weaver frowns.
Probably not an answer you can give me outright, but I'm going to ask the question anyway. Were we to let you out of this containment, what would you do?
I think I would study
our reality,
among others.
Right. And if the shadow were to escape the 10th floor, what do you think it would do?
Destroy your world.
Right.
As you know it and exist in it. Some would say it would save your world. I think it would make your world a little more boring. It would make your world a place that I would not want to visit very much.
Right. So it seems like it's in our mutual interest to prevent that from happening then.
It would seem that way, yes. To an ant on a line.
Right. Well, if you have any insights into how we could reclaim the 10th floor, repulse the shadow, keep it out of our reality, bind it away in its own reality, I'm all ears.
You're all ears?
That was meant to be a joke because you claimed someone's ear when they left the bathroom. Sorry. Oh. It's a human thing. To make jokes out of scary things so they're less scary.
I like joke. I don't know. Why did the transdimensional entity cross the road?
I feel like it's to get to the other insert word I don't know the definition of.
I think the Weaver just like dead stares at you, like. And I think Liz, the scientist who studies extraplanar, like she is just writing furiously and recording.
Right. Well, thanks, Liz. I appreciate it. Thanks for your time, Weaver.
Yeah, it spins. It turns like you start saying like you say thanks for your time, and it just spins, turns its back, and then like it like descends on its thread down into the void hole in the wall. Like right. Clearly something didn't go right. Like you could feel its disapproval.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure, Judith dealing with not understanding what creatures from other realities want is like theme of the game.
Yeah. Totally.
One might say Judith not understanding what other people really want and need is probably just like a truism about her life. I think if we introduced Judith, she was living alone in an apartment and waking up at 4:30 in the morning to go inspect a rail accident at the start of this.
Right.
I think she's a lonely person, and I think that she's probably a lonely person because at some level she has a hard time understanding or caring about what other people really want.
Yeah.
In the way that she has to remind herself to ask those things rather than it being intuitive. I don't think she's psychopathic at all. I don't think she doesn't care or have emotions at all. But I think that she's a pretty driven person and a person who has a hard time just intuiting what people want, and so has to ask it explicitly, which might be good for this job, but because there's a lot of things that you can't intuit. But anyway, she's kind of used to like having it social interactions where she walks away going, I think I missed something, but I don't know what it was. So
yeah. You're musing on that interaction with the Weaver and how it reflects so many of your human interactions. When the phone, your office phone rings and you can see what department it is on the phone, and it says level 10 extraplanar research.
So much for contained. Yeah. I mean, Judith's like, what are the odds this is going to be me calling myself? Okay. I hit the speakerphone button.
Yeah.
I hit the speakerphone button because there's a strange part of Judith that thinks if she picks up the receiver and sticks it to her ear, some alien thing might crawl through it, out of that receiver and into her brain.
Perfectly fucking reasonable reaction to this. Perfectly fucking reasonable, Judith. I think it's you, and I think you know that the you on the other side was like, what are the odds that I pick up the fucking phone now that I've worked so hard to get to a fucking phone and call the outside? Like, what are the odds that it's just me on the other side? And it's just like, I think you both say hello at the same time, and then there's like a long silence. Who breaks the silence?
I think I might be slightly, only marginally more informed than she is. So I think I will do the kindness, if it is, to say, Judith, I just learned that we are trapped on the 10th floor.
Didn't you feel that you left me when you used it? When you used the shadow, didn't you feel it?
I did feel part of the shadow go through me. Did it take you with it?
No, you left me here. Don't put this on that thing. And it's fucking hunting me.
All right. How did I leave you there? When did we split from 1 to 2? Was it when I got in the lift?
You used the shadow power at some point. I don't, it's all kind of hazy to me.
Okay. So when I used the shadow power to traverse the realm, I left a part of me. I left you there.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We have the level sealed because we don't want Harrison to get here. I don't know how to
who's we?
The Bureau. Where you and I are now in charge of the Bureau.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That videotape was real?
Maybe. Possibly. Probably. I'm not really much more up to speed than you are. This is my first day on the job, but this was all an interview.
Yeah, I think you hear a door open and you hear her drop the phone and run.
I'll get you. She's about to say, and then it's cut off.
Yeah.
Well, and then it realizes that the phone is gone.
Yeah. I think like you hear something slithering after her, right? You hear, but it does not pick up the phone, and it does not put its tendrils through the ear piece.
Yeah.
But it does take us to an hour. So why don't we take our break?
Sounds good.
And we'll be back in a few minutes.
Awesome. See y'all soon.
Listen, I know I said the 4th floor restroom was fixed, but like it's the plumbing is still a mess. So it's not an extra dimensional issue, but like it's a flush issue.
It's a water pressure issue.
A water pressure issue. Extra dimensional riffs play hell on water pressure. Like you don't even, and these are old pipes. Like you don't even. This is brutalist architecture. You don't ask. Just don't ask what it costs to get a plumber up here. Do not ask.
All right,
plumbers. Like that's a whole. I would play that game anyway.
Yeah,
on that note.
I mean, I think we did. It was called the Sorcerer Kings.
Yes, definitely. All right, I'll be back in a moment.
Bye.
Oh shit. Let me.